Okay, so we are starting on a mock-up today, and it's going to be a surprise because I feel like every time I start these videos of these vintage patterns, something goes horribly wrong. So I'm not going to show you what I'm making. I'm just going to go ahead and get started on doing a mock-up of it. But this is the fabric that I'm going to be using. It is a linen rayon blend. I really enjoy working with fabric. Specifically this fabric, it's from Joann's. It's their linen look fabrics. And I laid it on the scraps that I have left over from previous projects. I've used this fabric twice before, once on a skirt and then again on my Arno Dorian waistcoat. And this is the fabric that's left over, and it is basically just enough to do a mock-up of this vintage pattern that I have. This pattern is originally supposed to be a set of like capri, or short pants, pants that fall just below the knee. But I'm going to just go ahead and shorten them into shorts. So we shall see how these turn out. I don't have the best luck with vintage pant patterns because of how low the crotch drops on these. I'm very used to modern fitting pants, and I don't typically love how loose fitting vintage pants are. I just don't think it's a very flattering look. But I really like this pattern, and I really want to make this pattern, so I'm doing a mock-up so I can make any alterations necessary before I make the actual pants. That is my thought process behind this. This is the scrap fabrics that I have left over, so I'm going to make it out of this fabric, and wish me luck. So I'm going to go ahead and get all of this cut out and all of the indications marked. And on these unprinted vintage patterns, usually the pattern instructions are marked with perforations on the fabric. So for example, your darts, or where you line up your pattern pieces, would be marked with these little dots. So like these dots here would indicate darts, whereas these, that's where you line up the these are just pattern notches where you line up the little triangles on printed patterns. I think this is another dart here, but we will see after I cut it out. I'm just going to pin everything in place, and I'm going to be as gentle as possible on pinning it in place too. This tissue does have a bit of water damage, so it's not exactly, factory condition vintage. But I acknowledge that you want to be as careful as possible with vintage patterns too. But also I am working with the materials as they would have been originally worked with, and I don't think there's anything wrong with that either. I don't know. The last few projects I've had have not really turned out, and it's really, or they've taken so long to do that they're still not done, and it's really frustrating when you put a lot of work into something and it's just not coming out the way you expect it to. It's just almost demotivating in some ways when projects just don't turn out. And it's extra frustrating especially when you have high hopes for it and you use a fabric that you really like, and you're using a pattern and you really like the illustrations, and then you actually go and try and make the thing, and for whatever reason, be it you picked the wrong fabric, or usually I just picked the wrong fabric, or you measure something wrong, or it's just slightly too big for you. It's just really frustrating, especially the time that you put into it, because with sewing, you could just go and buy something that mostly fits you. But with sewing, having that handmade element, you really want it to fit you very nicely because you're making it. You have the opportunity to make the alterations to make it fit you. And then for it to just not work out, it's really annoying. I'll cut that piece out later because I need to be able to access this one first. So I'm not going to add any seam allowance or anything. I'm just going to cut it out as is because again, this is going to be a mock-up. I'm not going to make it with French seams, so I'm just going to make it as is. And allegedly, according to the pattern deck or pattern instructions, these should fit me without any alterations. Should, being the keyword. I do really love this fabric though. Fortunately, it's a fabric that I don't have to worry about being out of stock. It's usually pretty readily available in a number of different colors. So that's always good. Okay, so according to the instructions, the first step on the pants is crease the pant front along the F sections on lines of small perforations and edge stitch. Stitch center front seam, matching notches 7, clip on curve, and press seam open. So basically this is step 6, and right there is where it says to fold along that line and edge stitch it, and then here match notch 7 and then stitch that front curved seam and then clip the curves and then press that seam open. So that is what I'm going to do. Means I will need this piece, not that piece. I will need this piece. This is pattern piece F. So let me go ahead and get all of my pins. I'm going to put them in this dish because I will need them again. That is all of them, okay. And I'm not going to fold along the original fold lines on this, just because it is so delicate. I'm just going to fold it neatly. Alright, so of our 2 pattern pieces, let me give this a press. Okay, so that is now done. Next, step 7 says pocket facing G and then pocket H. With right sides together, pin pocket facing G sections to front, matching notches 8. So I gotta pin it to the front of the shorts. And then stitch between the medium perforations trim seam. So basically I need, that's H, I need G. That's K. So on the outside is where I do that. I need to basically stitch from here to here, from there to there. From medium perforations, which is this one, to this one. And then turn it facing to inside and press top stitch between the medium perforations 1/4 inch from edge, so that gets turned under and pressed. Okay, so now we have step 8, working on inside of front. Place pocket H over pocket facing, right sides together, matching notches 9. Stitch pocket and facing together from waist edge to medium perforation on side. I think it shouldn't be attached to the actual front piece of the shorts, it just should go to the pocket facing, I think. So that's what I'm going to do. Alright, that is now done. They are looking like this so far. I am withholding my position for now. Or withholding my opinions for now anyway. Alright, so next step is to make pleats in waist edge by lapping small perforation at top of edge stitching to medium perforation at top of pocket facing seam. So this perforation to that, nope, wait. oh yeah, that perforation to that perforation, and then that perforation to that perforation. So there's 2 pleats there. Make pleat and pocket by creasing in small perforation and lapping to medium perforation, base at waist edge. So I just need to run basting stitches there, which means some hand sewing. So there is, allegedly, oh, maybe that was, oh, it's part of the, got it. Alright, let's see. So this one to here, and then these, so this one to here, and these two to there. Okay, so there is this perforation that goes here, and then this perforation that goes to here. This one to here. Okay. That one. There. And that one to there. And that just gets basted, so I'm going to redo this one. I don't like it. Okay, so that is now done, and next it says to stitch, or pants back J, which is this piece here. It says stitch center back seam of pants back J, sections matching notches 10, ending stitches at notch. So stitch basically up until this point here. And then it says zipper insert in center back opening following directions given with zipper. So insert your zipper, make waist darts, and then stitch side seams from waist to lower median perforations matching notches 11 here, keeping side edges of pockets free. So these. Clip to medium perforation and press seams open. Okay. So that's actually at the tail end of the legs. I shortened to this, so honestly my stitches will probably end a couple inches below notch 11. So. And I won't be leaving anything open, I'll just cuff it. Alright, so let's start with stitching the center back seam to that notch, and then opening up those, wait, hold on. And then insert the zipper after that. Got it. Which means all of these come out. Basically, we want the stitches to end here. So all of this gets pressed inwards. Right to there. And then we'll also need to do the dart at some point. Okay, so I have successfully installed the zipper. I did a lap zipper, so it's nice and clean. Does it work is the real question. I haven't actually tested the zipper. Whoops. Yes, it works. It works just fine. So I used a 7-inch zipper because that was approximately the size of the opening, and it was just lapped on. So now I'm going to go in and sew the darts. Alright, so that is now done. The waist darts are done, and I have also pressed the waist darts. So now I just need to stitch the side seams from waist to lower medium perforations, which means I just need to stitch them all the way down. So here is the back, and here is the front, and it specifically says to not catch the pocket lining, so I will do my best not to catch the pocket lining. Okay, that was fiddly and annoying, but I think I got it. So that is done like so, and then we don't lose our pocket either. So I'm going to go ahead and do the other side. And the trick I've learned is to do it with the fronts facing down. And match the notches first. So I'm going to match these notches here first. And then I'm going to straighten everything out like that. Because I want this one to be laying flat here. So that's to make sure the pocket doesn't get wonky on me. And then annoyingly, the tops do not line up. They're about a 1/4 inch off. And I'm not sure why, but it's irritating. Okay, that is done, and those seams are now pressed, and then it wants you to do the front leg facings. So I cut out the facing pieces for the front legs, and quite stupidly, I didn't realize that these are now irrelevant because I didn't cut these pants to their full length. So these pieces are not going to match up with the bottom of the short legs. So I don't really need them at all. So I'm just going to not use them. And I will just put them with the rest of the scraps for this project. And turn my attention to the waistband. So cut pre-shrunk muslin for interfacing half the width of the waistbands, which is piece M, and baste the inside of waistband along notched edge. Okay, and then fold band in half lengthwise and stitch pointed ends and along the notched edge to medium perforation. Clip to perforation trim seam. And then turn waistband right side out, stitch outside of band to inside of pants, matching notches 16 and 17. Turn under free edge and top stitch under seam outside. Got it, okay. And then to make a buttonhole between the small perforations in pointed end of waistband, lap ends, and sew button under buttonhole, which means I'm gonna need a button. But more importantly, I need to use this pattern piece again and cut out some sturdier fabric. I'm going to use a sturdier fabric than muslin. I do have some proper interfacing that I could use as well, some fusible interfacing, but I think a nice sturdy cotton or linen will do just fine. So let me see what I have in my stash. After fishing around, I came up with this quilting cotton, which is not muslin. It's probably a little bit sturdier than muslin. I still think it's weird that they want to use muslin, but okay. So yeah, I'm just going to, it said half, right? Yeah. Huh? So I'm just going to fold this in half and then probably give myself more room. And just pin the waistbands to our muslin and then cut it out that way. I'm gonna give myself some allowances too. Actually, you know what? I'm going to do the whole thing because I think I'd want a little bit more. I just want something a little bit more substantial than a rayon linen and muslin. I just think that's really weird that they wanted you to use muslin for the structure of a waistband. It's just strange. Because we think of waistbands as like these sturdy things, because you know they sit right at the waist. They should be well fitted. So it's weird they want you to use such a lightweight fabric on them. At least I think it's weird. I've already got a pretty wonky shaped waistband because I was so careful cutting out that piece because it was so delicate, the pattern piece. But I'll just take this opportunity to trim up a few of these wobbly lines. Since I'm not concerned about cutting the fabric like I was cutting the pattern tissue. So, it's just weird. Okay. So I'm just going to go ahead and treat these two pieces like they're one. Said 1/2 inch, half width of waistband, maced inside a long notched edge. So our notched edge is this side over here. Okay, so off camera I went ahead and seamed up these side seams, and I stitched down the waistband as well on the inside. So this is what it looks like from the outside. And then I used a rayon hem binding that I bought at an antique store. I have 2 more of these. It is Wright's seam binding. These are really, really good, and I think I'm going to be buying some more in spool version from Amazon. But this is the way the shorts look so far. I cut them way shorter because I prefer my shorts to be on the shorter side. And then the last thing I need to do is go ahead and do my buttonhole and my button so that it will button over. And the button I'm going to be using is this covered button, which was actually in my button stash. I didn't cover it. It was just like the perfect shade of red, so it is the perfect button for this project. So I'm going to go ahead and do my buttonhole, and I'm going to do it with embroidery floss because I want it to be a nice sturdy buttonhole, which means I just need some red floss. Here we go. Put that away. It's a lot brighter than I'd like it to be. That's fine because it's a buttonhole. I'm probably going to use 2 strands of floss if I could find where it starts. And they're done. They're really super cute and I like them so much. So I'm very glad that that pattern worked out because it's actually for a little ensemble that I have. I used this pattern by Advance. It was a, I just shortened the length of the pants there. And yeah, so this is a test. These shorts are intended to be a mock-up so that I could test the pattern to make sure the pants fit me. And they do, which is very exciting because now I can move on to making the actual ensemble. Because the best part about this pattern is you see that little sketch there in the corner? Yeah, I have that pattern as well. So I can make the full ensemble. It is a 4-piece set. So this pattern has the little blouse and the pants, and then the other ensemble has a jacket and a pencil skirt. So yeah, that's the plan. The plan is to make up those 2 pieces, and I think the fabric that I used here is a great fabric. I once again cannot express enough how much I like these little shorts. Oh, they're just the cutest. It makes me so happy that that pattern worked out as well as it did because they're like super comfy. Okay, all right, so if you enjoyed this video and you want to watch me make that ensemble at another time, then do subscribe and hit the like button, see if that makes any difference on the algorithm. And yeah, join me next time where I will probably, hopefully, eventually be making that set.